Chapter 42 The chicken almost froze. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Drink more, drink more. Not long after, the sound of two people cheering each other came from behind the stone door. Dulcie, I really didn't expect that you actually hit a package that extended the space, the first male voice with a standard accent said. Aren't you afraid that the boss will be furious when he finds out? You're not afraid of drinking in private, why would I be afraid of hiding a bag? The foreign accent known as Darcy said proudly. You're kidding, I'm very brave, okay? I'm very good at hiding. That what follows is a series of conversations. He is very good at hiding, so he is very brave. You have a good figure, quite strong. Ted, what are you doing? That just when Levin thought that these two drunk guys were going to have something to say, the conversation suddenly turned to another topic, that he was immediately interested. Darcy suddenly asked, we are drinking like this, what if someone breaks in again? Ted laughed loudly. Today is Christmas Eve. Even the Aurors have to spend time with their families at home. Who would accompany the unlucky ones like us to play poker in the wilderness? Levin outside the door felt that he was being touched for a moment, but he still suppressed his depression and continued to listen. But, what do you say about the Auror who was arrested today? Darcy pointed out pointedly, that bitch came to trouble us on Christmas Eve. They actually arrested an Auror today. After hearing the news, the boy immediately became serious. Being able to catch Aurors and not caring about them meant that the other party was a very professional team and had been dealing with Aurors for a long time. In his mind, the enemy's threat level immediately increased. Being undermined by Darcy, Ted spat. Bah, that bitch just graduated this year, what kind of bullshit Auror is she? Darcy was still a little worried, even though she is a novice, she was caught by us after all. If someone comes to find her. No, Ted obviously knew much more than his companions. The boss said that the Ministry of Magic has not had any arrest missions recently, so it was just an accident that the bitch found us, and although there was no interrogation, I can see that she was not wearing a uniform when she was caught, which means that when she met us, it was completely It was a temporary act, nothing will happen. Even if the Auror boys find out that she is missing, it will be 2 or 3 days later. By then, the boss will have already found the treasure and escaped with us. Before we leave, maybe we brothers can put that bitch. Being comforted by Ted's burps, Darcy finally felt relieved. Then the two of them started drinking happily again, but Levin was thinking about it here. Judging from their conversation, the purpose of coming here is to hunt for treasure, and the only thing here that can be called a treasure is the scholar's Moonstone. The Moonstone is indeed a powerful magic item, containing the power of the moon. Not only can it attract the moon-crazy beasts to gather and multiply, but it can also catalyze the prophecy of the centaurs. If you get it, it may be helpful to your research on prophecy magic and natural magic. No matter how bad it is, it can be used to make friends with the centaurs in the Forbidden Forest, so that you can go to the Forbidden Forest to obtain materials in the future. Right now, these two people's defenses are very lax, so it's a good time to take action. Besides, it can be heard from their words that the captured Auror is probably still alive. With luck, she's also a potential helper. After some analysis, Levin came to a decision. Done. But if you want to make a sneak attack, you have to pay attention to the appearance. The two people inside were drunk and obviously wanted to give him a chance. But to be truly foolproof, they have to be separated. Levin rolled his eyes and had an idea. He stuck it to the door again, quietly released the power of his mind, and brought the two of them into the surveillance of the mind field. Then using the power of the thought field, he quietly cast Suggestion Technique on one of them. Suggestion, a 3-ring magic control spell. You influence the subject's actions by suggesting that the subject takes a certain form of activity. Your suggestive words, you have to make that activity sound reasonable. Requiring the creature to commit self-mutilation will automatically invalidate the spell. You try to cast spells of the charm control system through the power of the mind. You understand that the essence of the charm control school is the control of the will of the mind. You understand the specialization of the charm control school. You understand the mind charm controller. Your mind warlock level +1, psychic controller, confusion spells can be regarded as psychic powers, and your psychic powers can be regarded as confusion spells. A simple attempt has yielded such great results, Levin was pleasantly surprised. The significance of psychic controller is that his magic control spells can not only be cast silently and at will like psychic powers, but also make his psychic powers have magical properties. Through super strengthened by various means such as magic, just like now, Levin doesn't need to give hints face to face like a normal mage. Instead, through psychic abilities, the suggestion technique is cast into the enemy's heart without leaving any trace. Even if the other party breaks through the hint, he will only think that he is dizzy and will not realize that someone is secretly messing with him. Just like now, halfway through his meal, Ted suddenly felt the urge to urinate in his bladder. "Damn it, I feel like peeing when I drink," he muttered and stood up, wandering towards the door, not forgetting to remind his companion, "Don't finish the drink alone, leave more for me." Rest assured, that after getting the promise from his companion, he staggered open the door. Levin had already taken a few steps back and stood aside against the wall. The person who walked out was a tall man, wearing all black clothes and a thick Scottish plaid scarf. He walked out with 1 foot deep and 1 foot shallow. Levin followed him all the way to the first hall and then walked into the corridor of the door. It seemed that the other party didn't want the place to be polluted by the smell of urine, so he specifically wanted to urinate outside. Doesn't this play into his heart? Levin followed him all the way to the door protected by the illusion, watched him spread a hot drink on the snow, and then suddenly took action. Ted had just finished draining the water and felt comfortable all over. He was about to take back his words when, unexpectedly, a young male voice came from behind. "Frost Nova." As soon as he finished speaking, he felt a cold energy envelope his whole body. His feet were frozen to the ground by the sudden ice, and the chicken that had not yet been recovered shivered instantly. He wanted to take out his wand from his right pocket, but the terrible cold instantly froze his arm, making his movements extremely stiff. His fingers finally touched the wand, but a force forced the wand away. Then, in his horrified eyes, more frost began to spread upward from his feet, and he stopped when he was about to cover the chicken. Then he saw a black-haired boy, about 1.5 meters tall and who looked to be at least 11 or 12 years old, appearing in front of him. Today's update, June 4th, additional update, May 12th, Mid-Autumn Festival National Day Family Feedback. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, September 29th to October 6th. Chapter 43, Interrogating the Poachers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If it weren't for the cold chill all over my body now and the childish voice that recited the magic spell just now, even if he saw his wand in the opponent's hand, Ted could not connect the attacker with the child in front of him. "What are you doing here for?" the boy said, cold and ruthless words in a childish voice. "Think carefully before you speak. If you tell a lie, I will let the frost spread an inch up your waist." With that said, Levin waved his wand threateningly, and Ted's wrist was also covered by a mass of ice, making him unable to move. Stimulated by the ice, no matter how drunk he was, he woke up. Although I don't understand what spell the other party just cast, but realizing that the other party really had the ability to control the ice, Ted was really panicked. He knew very well that if the ice spread 2 inches further to his waist, it would cover those words. Those words are much more fragile than hands and feet. If you are frozen like this, there are only 2 endings: either you will never get hard, or you will never get hard. He doesn't want to do anything, so he immediately trembled and said with trembling words in fear, "We are a group of tomb robbers. We came here to steal the funerary objects. Please forgive me. This gentleman." Aha! Before he finished speaking, he felt the cold air spreading upward an inch. Now even a pair of Ringo can feel the chill. "Humph, you are indeed dishonest. You came to Moonstone Garden to rob tombs. Are you bullying me for being young and uneducated? You, what are you doing?" That when he heard the words Moonstone Garden appear in the other party's mouth, Ted knew that he could not hide it from the other party. You know, even his boss found this name in a forgotten history after looking through countless old books. Now that this secret was revealed casually by the other party, it showed that the other party was more powerful than he imagined. Then their actions are probably under the control of the other party. I just don't know whether the other party is from the Ministry of Magic or, Ted kept thinking in his mind, but apologized again and again. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to lie. I'm sorry. Actually, we don't have any conflicts, right? If you can let me go, we will be very grateful. This time, before he could finish speaking, he felt the ice on his wrist begin to spread until it froze his entire arm. You answer whatever I ask, and if I don't ask you just shut up, or you can choose to give up your arm. No. No. Don't, I was wrong, just ask, I will answer whatever you ask. This time, Ted was really scared. The other party's ruthlessness and decisiveness in killing at the slightest disagreement are not at all like a child of this age. He seriously suspected that this was some old man who had returned to youth, but no matter what, Ted no longer dared to have any ideas of his own at this time. Levin answers whatever he asks. It didn't take long for Levin to figure out who he was dealing with. It turns out that these two people are not dark wizards, but belong to a group of poachers. Poachers in the magical world are similar to those in the Muggle world, it's just that they poached magical creatures, while Muggle poachers hunted ordinary animals. They are also poachers, but these people in the magical world are far more extreme and more powerful than their counterparts in the Muggle world. They say that high profits can make people lose their minds. The rate of return for poaching in the magical world is much higher than that in the Muggle world. After all, for Muggles who have achieved industrialization, the furs of rare birds and beasts can only be used as decorations, but the materials in magical animals can really make powerful alchemical products and potions. This makes the poachers in the magical world quite crazy. Especially after the promulgation of the confidentiality law, the struggle between poachers and the Ministry of Magic has intensified, almost reaching the point of tit-for-tat. Many poacher organizations are no longer even satisfied with petty theft, but simply dominate the mountains and occupy places like castles as their bases, openly confronting the Ministry of Magic. The 18th and 19th centuries were the most rampant years for poachers in the wizarding world. Originally the Great Aeon was like this, until the end of the 19th century. In that hidden history, the entire gang of dark wizards and poachers around Hogwarts disappeared for unknown reasons. This directly led to Aeon's poacher organization being silent for nearly 100 years. The Dark Wizards only rose again with the emergence of 2 generations of Dark Lords. According to Ted, their boss Peacole Curtis is descended from a powerful group of poachers. His ancestors were once powerful men near Hogwarts, but for some reason they suddenly went dormant 100 years ago. It was not until a few decades ago that, taking advantage of the rise of the Dark Lord, Peacole returned to his family's old business and gathered a group of younger brothers to engage in poaching. The reason why he came here is because Peacole learned about the treasures here from the classics left at home. It is said that this treasure is related to centaurs and the almost extinct magical creature Golden Snidget. The Golden Snidget is an extremely rare and specially protected bird. Its body is round and round, its mouth is particularly slender, and its eyes are sparkling like rubies. This is an extremely fast-flying bird that can change its flight direction with incredible speed and skill because the joints of its wings can flexibly rotate. In the original Quidditch, the seeker was not chasing the golden snitch, but the living snitch. As the sport of Quidditch spread, the number of gold snidgets dwindled until they were on the verge of extinction. Nowadays, because golden snidgets are extremely endangered, they are protected animals all over the world and are strictly protected. Therefore, if they can get the golden fascia, it will be an absolute huge profit for their poacher organization. So Peacole Curtis came here with 8 of his men. After understanding the causes and consequences of the poachers, Levin nodded. I have a general understanding of the situation of you and your accomplices, but you never mentioned the aura you met. How is she? Hearing this, Ted's body began to tremble again, and his face was as pale as a layer of white frost. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hide it from you. I just forgot to mention that thing. Don't let the ice spread anymore. This time his panic was genuine. He really didn't expect that this boy actually knew about auras. This once again proved the other party's magical power, and their every move was under the surveillance of the other party. He was also really afraid that the other party would think that he deliberately didn't mention the auras. Levin pouted, feeling a little funny in his heart. This burly man was really scared of him. On one side, he still maintained an indifferent expression. Shut up, just tell me what happened to that aura. Yes. Ted immediately stopped crying and talked about the auras tremblingly. We met her by accident before we came in. The disguise Magus, she tried to disguise herself as a nearby villager, and we discovered it. We captured her, but we didn't do anything to her because the boss was eager to explore the ruins, so we just tied her up and locked her in a separate room. Having said this, the wizard swallowed and continued, that Auror is very young. It is said that he just graduated this year. He has pink hair and is very conspicuous. Levin nodded after hearing this. He had already guessed who this Auror was. Last question, do any of you carry griffin-related items with you? The wizard was silent for a moment, and when Levin was almost impatient, he quickly answered, yes, our Peakle has a pendant made of a griffin's beak. He always carries that thing on his chest, often like a show-off. He said it was passed down from his family and represents the glorious past of the Curtis family. Does their glorious past prove that they once poached a griffin? It was indeed something a family of poachers could do, Levin nodded, and now the goal of this trip was clear, according to a third person, since the treasure is in your hands, then you have a way to die. Mid-Autumn Festival National Day Family Feedback. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, September 29th to October 6th.